welcome to the KNWLDG podcast.
You heard that.
Yeah, you heard the pop top. I'm one part of your hosting team, Knowledge. To my right, who do I got?
Hey, you already know who it is. It's your boy Chenaro Reed, a.k.a. Natty, Bad Tattoo Dreadlock, owner, operator of Slaughterhouse Tattoos, a.k.a. Mr. Helping You Look Better Naked in the building.
And then we got a special guest on the phone, my boy Vic, a.k.a. Grits. Shout out to Legends on Tools MC out there in Texas. Tell them who you are, man. Let them introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hey, what's happening, man? It's Vic Grits, originally from Birmingham, current resident of Nolensville, Texas, outside of Killeen. Been down this area about 10, 12 years now. And, man, I'm just here for the show, and I got my glass ready.
Hey, so we're going to call this episode Cocktails and Conversations.
Cocktails and Conversation.
Hey.
Cognac.
Now, this is one of the
Cognac Conversations.
I think it need to be cognac.
Excuse me. Cognac.
Cognac Conversations.
Yes, because this ain't Sex in the City. Ain't no white women up in the city.
So one interesting part about this show that I want to point out specifically, shout out to the voice of reason, our other co-host, Miss EP. She's being super mommy tonight. And so, we got to give salute to our women out here being mothers, making sure that our daughters are taken care of and things of that nature, because her daughter is an amazing young lady. And so she's doing what she has to do as a mother. And, we record on an irregular night, so shout out to her. And, we had a special guest that was going to check in, but we're going to talk about what she's doing down there in Austin, Texas, down there kind of close to you, Grits, in a few short moments. She's an amazing young lady, and I want to support everything that she's doing. But one thing that I want to make sure we point out before this show gets started is that we talking about a lot of stuff dealing with Black America. And the primary topic is that really, honestly, truly, we live in two different Americas. You got the America for white people, and then you have the America for everybody else. And we're going to point that out as we go through this whole episode, because there are just too many stories that have come out just this past week since our last episode, Natty, that kind of point to this. You know
Most
what I'm saying?
definitely, man.
So,
definitely.
And Grits, I know you okay with that, man. I check you on Facebook every single day, man. You part of you like my morning paper, man. Like I know when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna check your Facebook and you gonna have some profound shit to say, man. So
yeah, man, I'm here for it. Ain't that what they say nowadays, man? Hey, whatever it is, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. So let's go and jump into it. The first thing, I want to jump into is this. This was a post from like last year. This is something that happened last year. This starts off our WTF segment of the show, White Tomfoolery and Foolishness. That's our WTF. There was this guy who was in Mississippi that said somebody tore down his Mississippi flag and tore down his Mississippi flag, burned it, and then took black spray paint and sprayed in his driveway, Blacks Rule. Now
I saw that.
Blacks Rule.
Now I remember that story.
Now I didn't do some wild shit in my life. I've done graffiti at one point in my life. Back when I thought I was a b-boy and a super hip hop head.
Break dance on the boxes.
Back when I had the Jinko jeans. You know what I'm saying? When I had
big ass pockets.
The big ass pockets. Right. I did some wild shit, but I never wrote Blacks Rule on anything.
I never even said that.
And bro, we both from Birmingham, man. So I know you never said Blacks Rule.
Bruh.
So.
And rules is what we was trying to find out so we can, figure out how to navigate around them. You know what I'm saying?
We was trying to figure out what the rules were so we could break them shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but you talking about when you say rule, we just now coming to the age where Black people got enough information to realize that they used to rule anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
when you say Blacks Rule, like rule what?
Rule what? Yeah.
Right.
Rule number one?
You know what I'm
Rule
saying?
number two?
And this is in Mississippi. So what the fuck do we rule other than we don't even, to be perfectly honest, and this is not disrespectful to the HBCUs there, but we don't even rule Jackson State. So how the hell we gonna rule Mississippi, period?
Right. Shoot. People have their definitions mixed up, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of the problem that we got in America. Black people too, because like me, I don't focus my commentary on anybody but Black people, because that's the only thing we can control. and influence. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
Hey, awesome
sometimes, because like I can't control what you do, but I can influence what you say and how you think if I give you the right information to go off of. You know what I'm saying? We can't control white folks in their America. Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much primarily what this show is about. Primarily how we aren't, and I really didn't want this show, when we discussed this show, we really didn't want it to be about it, like the difference between white America and black America. But the topic of discussion really, when I envisioned it last week, when we was doing the production thing, it was, there was a post that said, allow black men to open up about their pent up emotions without shaming them for it. But there were so many things that came out just this week that let us know that this ain't our country, man.
Nah, man.
Nothing about this country is meant for us.
Toward us. Nothing whatsoever.
All of our topics are social media threads. I mean, and I'm not saying that just to call it as the trigger point. What I'm saying is that every time that you open up the topic, there's a bunch of subtopics under every single thing. So you can never capture it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you been in a long thread, right? And the thread evolves. You look at the bottom of the thread, they start talking about tax evasion. But somewhere in the middle, they talk about the Rothschild family and how they paid into slavery and made most of their wealth from it. But the original post was about what O.J. Simpson did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the whole post turned to an onion, man.
It's funny because like every time black people have any sort of issue or grievance or anything like that, everybody redirects and derails us. It's almost as if we don't have I know we don't have a voice. Part of the reason Kinda Sleepy exists, is because we're trying to create a platform. Me and Natty, we have very similar experiences, but we have very different experiences at the same time. And we want to give a voice to people who don't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Every time we do an episode, somebody says, yo, and Natty, you told me this. Like, somebody says, yo, y'all said that shit the way I wanted to say it. I just didn't know how to put it.
Didn't know how to put it.
And that's really what it is.
And you know what? Let me put that in a nutshell, too. Black people are good at mobilizing. But we can never organize on things that we have to drive home. You know what I'm saying? We get the nail in the coffin, but we can't find the hammer.
Damn, that's a good way to put it. I never thought about it like that. And I tell people all the time, like I say, whenever, it's funny because me and Natty sitting here and like a lot of times, like I liken us to the Boondocks. Like we're really literally like the real life Boondocks. Like, sometimes I'm Huey and he's Riley and sometimes he's Huey and I'm Riley. But the reality of it is, that's the dichotomy that every single black man in this country that's, relatively conscious and aware of what's going on in this country deals with. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I want to be all woke and have my fist in the air, and sometimes I want to call you a bitch ass nigga. Like that's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
And Natty, I know sometimes you be saying I look at Natty's Facebook thread sometimes, man, and I know he just be holding shit in. Like I know you be ready to explode, bro.
But you got to keep them around for perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Natty. Yo, I know you. No, okay. So first of all, before we get into that, shout out to your son.
Yeah, man. Shout out.
Your man is doing. Your little man is doing the Lion King thing.
Yeah, man.
My daughter went to go see the Lion King for her birthday last week.
Oh, word, man.
We talked about her birthday party and all that last weekend and all that. She went to, she did her thing, but she went to the birthday party and she's still bouncing around on the trampolines, but also, the Lion King was a major thing, and she's impressed, man. And so I'm impressed, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my young
shout out
king,
to
man.
your youngin, man.
Yeah, this week, man. He's he had sickle cell. And so he's been down for like a few days because he had a sickle cell crisis on stage. Right. But he's pushing through. You know what I mean? I talked to him before I came out here. He was like, I'm gonna take another day off. He's still in a little bit of pain, but he's a soldier. You know what I mean?
Bless up.
He's doing what he loves to do, and he knows it. He knows his body. So he's just he's doing his thing though. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm so proud of him. I mean, I can't even say it enough.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Bless up, blessings to him, man.
Well, he said he ready to leave Alabama.
Well,
he said he ready to get the fuck out of Alabama.
You got two Alabama people right now on the show with you, so
right.
Can you argue that? I can't argue with him.
Yeah, he was like, I'm ready to dip.
Yo, but one thing I want to do when I was home last week, I want to give a shout out to Eugene's Hot Chicken.
Damn, that sound good.
Bro, they got that Nashville style hot chicken.
Hey, tell him I need a 6-piece, all drums.
I mean,
You know what I'm
look,
saying?
Bro, and he got the whole wings, bro. It's like,
the brontosaurus wing.
okay, so you from Birmingham, so you get it. It's like, imagine Green Acres with all the way baked in.
But look, but do me a favor. Say that name one more time.
Eugene's hot chicken.
Eugene's
Boy,
hot
I got
chicken.
an uncle named Eugene, so that made me
I know
feel
what
like
I'm
I was
saying.
in my own kitchen. You
That's
know
what I'm
what I'm saying?
saying. I got
Yeah,
to
boy.
look. Hey,
I'm trying to tell
everybody
you,
know
boy.
Eugene.
Everybody knows somebody knowing Eugene. They know how to cook their ass off.
Cook like hell.
I'm trying to tell you, Eugene's hot chicken was the lick though. That was some really good chicken, and and my thing is, you know, and I want to give a shout out to Miss EP for this. You know, Miss EP really keeps me balanced on a lot of different things in my life, like in real life. And so she you know, I gotta spend some more time in Alabama, so I will be spending some time in Alabama. Shout out to Randall once again. I know I got that hoodie. I got the hoodie that says we're gonna take
man, we
Birmingham
got
to the
to shout him out
motherfucking top.
every
Y'all
time.
seen it y'all seen it the other week when you wore it. I'm like, what the fuck behind
Randall,
that?
man, Randall got to be shouted out every time. And let me say this. I watched Real Time with Bill Maher the other day, and they
That's
had
my guy.
this Texas Democrat that was on there. I can't think of his name. I didn't vote for him, but you know what I'm saying. I still want to see his platform, so to speak. You know, as it evolves. But the dude was very eloquent in, you know what I'm saying, in his topics and his commitment to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Randall is that same guy that represents the city of Birmingham that way.
Well, the
He's
Randall effect is
homegrown.
real. The Randall effect is
Yeah,
real.
it's
Randall started
real.
an avalanche. Like
Mm-hmm.
now it's the millennial generation starting to take over a lot of these things, you know, and there's no and the reality of it is, you know, when they say there's no scandal with Randall, that was one of the campaign taglines. That was true.
Yeah, that man.
He really had no scandal.
Yeah, face up.
Yeah,
Cards
so-
on the table. I dig it.
But let's move back to the topics because
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
where there was no
It's like so
scandal.
much
with,
stuff. It's so
much
much.
to talk about. But where there was no scandal with Randall, let's talk about this scandal that's going on right now in Fort Worth, Texas. Do y'all remember the kid that, you know, had got a drunk driving situation,
Right.
and then
Yep,
turned around and
affluenza.
killed the affluenza kid? Right.
Yeah.
So you got the affluenza kid who killed four people,
4 people, Joe.
four whole
Yep.
people in a car crash.
Yep.
He should be out of jail in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, man.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question, Natty. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you this.
Shit, what's happening?
So, how long you been in this area between South Carolina and this area of North Carolina? How long have you been in this area of the South?
I say roughly about 20 years.
About 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
about 20 years.
Could you ever imagine having caught a DUI
What?
and not catch some jail time
What?
back then
What?
as a teenager?
What?
What?
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I remember, I mean, it's like it was yesterday. I was 21 and I knew I was tipsy. I was coming down 77. Soon as I got like right there in Fort Mill, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull over on the side of the road. Go ahead, cut my car off. I left my keys in the ignition. Left my keys. The car was off. But I took me a nap on the side of the road. Police officer pulled up behind me. My car was off. Keys were just in the ignition.
Right.
I'm asleep. He asked me to step out the vehicle. I step out the vehicle. Nah, mind you, yeah, I was still a little fucked up. He's like, have you been drinking? Yeah, I've been drinking. Had an open container in the car. They locked my ass up just for sleeping in my own car.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, my dad had a friend named Big Mike
Word.
who pulled over in Birmingham in Tarrant, Alabama, and pulled over and got in the passenger seat of his own car.
That's what I should have got in the back.
He
seat.
got in
my
the
last
passenger
should have got in the
seat.
trunk. My last should have got in the trunk. Shit. You know how much money I had to pay to get out? For real. That
He
shit-
got in the passenger seat, and when they pulled him over, the cop was like, "So why you sleeping in the car?" He said, "Well, because I'm drunk." He said, "So you in the car drunk?" He said, "Yeah, I'm not driving, though."
Right.
And they still took him to jail for public intoxication inside his own car.
Wow.
Because he was in a public parking lot.
Damn.
And so the thing is, I don't think that would have happened. Now, me, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and incriminate myself, but I've been kind of guilty from time to time of making my way to where I got to get.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah, a little serve and swerve.
And the thing is, don't get it wrong. We don't here on the Kind of CB podcast. We do not condone drinking and driving. That's not what we're condoning.
Call your neighborhood Uber.
Please call Uber, Lyft. And see, the thing is, if I lived uptown, I would never drive to the studio. Like, I probably would take a Lyft or an Uber every time I come here.
I don't like driving because my car stay dirty.
Wait, what you mean?
I mean, my car stay dirty. I ain't gonna lie, man. I fuck around, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I fucked around and washed my car today, man. And my homeboys, man, they so fucking petty. He's like, damn, bro, you got a new car? Come on, man. Man, come on, man, chill. Come on, man.
Man, that's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was.
But god damn, that's funny.
I ain't gonna lie.
But no, let's go back to Ethan Couch. Ethan Couch is the kid's name.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kid that had affluenza. He was sentenced to 2 years in jail for violating the terms of his probation. Now, he got probation for killing people.
Vehicular homicide.
Yeah. In Burleson, Texas, in June 2015, when he was 16 years old. Bruh.
Come on, man.
Now think about that. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on to the next story. But think about Khalif Browder.
Bingo.
Yep. Shoot, Sandra Bland.
Nah, shit.
Oh man, he didn't.
Yeah,
no
probation.
Oh no, we not there yet.
No PTI.
We gonna get to Sandra Bland when we get to the last topic of the show. All right, so let's touch on that soon. But this kid is 20 years old, killed 4 people in a DUI. And he's due to be released from the Tarrant County Jail.
Yeah, man.
Sadly enough, damn, I just look at this. I just looked at the date on my mama's birthday in Fort Worth, Texas. Like that's my mama's birthday. I love you, mama, but her birthday is April 2nd. And that just fucked with my head just a little bit. But he's in Fort Worth, Texas, getting ready to get released from jail. Like,
and that's the epitome.
He's killed 4 people.
That's the epitome of white privilege. At the end of the day,
that is the definition.
It's just, it doesn't. It's to a point to where, man, it becomes overwhelming. And like you said before, once it keeps constantly happening, it doesn't even. I mean, we become numb to it. So it's
desensitized, right?
Yeah, so
let me add in to that. And I don't want to interrupt, but the original thought was, about the 2 different Americas, right? Like, we could say that that's white privilege. That's the easy symptom to diagnose, right? Mm-hmm. Really, it is that's white America.
Period.
And it ain't got nothing to do with white privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people say the justice system is fucked up, no, it's not. It's working the way it was designed.
It's working the way it was designed to work. Exactly.
It
wasn't made for us.
Let's jump into that. Let's get through these topics and we can jump into that in depth when we get to the last one. Because the last one is going to lend credence to all of our arguments. I got a couple more things we got to tap dance through before we get to that, and then that's when we gonna put. No, it's cool.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Cause this shit heavy.
It's heavy. No, the whole show is gonna be like
sleepy
this.
Podcast. We going heavy.
Yeah, we getting heavy right now.
It's going heavy.
This is gonna be heavy. So let's touch on another topic right quick. So Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, has fined residents nearly $100,000. For braiding hair.
Braiding hair.
Now let's look at it like this. Now, Natty, you got dreads.
God damn.
Now back when I had a hairline, back when my soldier, I shout out to Eric, man. I'm still mad at Eric for this. When Eric started calling me Young Uncle Phil when I was in the Army, I started cutting my hair. I started shaving my head. He started calling me Young Uncle Phil. I had to let it go, bro.
Yuncle Phil.
That's me.
Young Uncle
Phil. Now, and see, Chris, you got a hairline. You know what I'm saying? You got, because when I left Afghanistan, you had the mohawk and you had got it braided up or whatever. But the thing is, people could have charged, like the state of Tennessee could have possibly taxed the girl who twisted your locks up, who braided my hair and twisted my dreads up back in the day, when I was young and had a hairline, and the person who braided your hair up or twisted your hair up for grits would have fined because they didn't have a freaking license of some sort. Now here's the thing. I understand barbers because you got to have the clippers with multiple people,
right?
And you got to have the alcohol, and you got to be able to recognize like different skin disorders and stuff like that. I get that, but I ain't never ever seen I ain't never seen a girl on the stoop with some braiding somebody up, really get hemmed up like that, or cause a problem like that could ever be fined for. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And these African braiding shops really just, all they doing is like what the little twists and a couple braids here and there. Like, they're not doing all the extra special stuff, man. So I feel like this is targeting. Am I wrong? Am I out of line here?
No, it is. It's pretty accurate. I don't have any other way to describe it. Like I read, I'll give you another example of what kind of targeting that is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you remember that story that was floating around where somebody was citing a dude with a ticket for barbecue and said a barbecue smoke was leaving his yard?
Yeah.
Like, who is that designed to target? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is that likely going to affect? It's become a shell game because we all are well versed on dog whistles. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
Yo, the dog whistles are something that we definitely jump in on, and we know what they are before they even come out. And
absolutely. And
so, Natty, I know I want your perspective on this because I know you still rock the dreads like that, man.
And my thing is like basically.
And side note before we start that, I know we've had a natural hair person on here. Give her a shout out right quick.
Hey, shout out to my homegirl Jakima Griggs. Hey, on Instagram as the Dread Lady. Hey, you already know JG in the building.
Shout out to her. Yeah. I appreciate everything that she does. You know what I'm saying? But I know that you got a perspective on this.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I look at it on a bigger spectrum because at the end of the day, once I'm not gonna say white America, but once they see something that flourishes and they can tax. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And they can tax it because if you look at it, you look at the differentiation between North Carolina and South Carolina. South Carolina, you can have an independent-owned ABC store.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, boom, they can tax alcohol.
Absolutely.
So they don't mind. Now, North Carolina, they govern all alcohol sales because they can tax
and it's
alcohol.
All state. Okay.
Right. They can tax alcohol. But when you have somebody that has a craft or has an ability to do something and it doesn't necessarily falls upon the quote-unquote cosmetology aspect of
the traditional.
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes down to perms, sew-ins, haircuts, and things like that. Somebody, like you say, just braiding natural hair. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, you do have to be, I would prefer somebody to be well-versed with dreadlocks before I sit down in a chair. But, you don't really, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out here, but you have people who, we've been braiding hair for years.
Absolutely,
since slavery. We've been braiding hair.
Since Africa.
That's what I'm saying. Shit, you look at Celie. Hey, from Color Purple. Yeah, she had the motherfucker. You look at OG Bobby Johnson. You feel me?
So,
braids.
So let's get this in a bigger perspective, though.
But the biggest, what I was saying. Hold on for a minute. It's like this right here. When you have somebody that is adept at something and it's profitable. Right. And it becomes profitable. Now a lot of people are rocking their natural hair. A lot of people are rocking dreads. A lot of people are doing this and doing that. So therefore now it becomes a market. So now they want to corner the market. So either you can get on board right here or we can motherfucking find your ass.
Get down and lay down.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, I look at it like this. It's like the same intensity that they're targeting black people doing each other's hair with or without license. It's the same thing like prohibition, recreational weed. It's because it can't be regulated.
Right.
You know how many niggas is doing like calendars for like dime bags and dub sacks?
Right. Bro, you know how many women out here selling vaginas? You know how many dudes out here paying for it?
Whoa,
you know what I'm saying? And
then,
let me call grandmama in here.
Wait a minute.
Let me call grandma.
Hold on.
Hello, Grits. This grandmama.
Hey, grandmama.
I just want to let you know that Natty and Knowledge, y'all was having a good conversation, and I heard somebody say something about some vaginas.
But it's a real body part. I ain't saying that.
Grits.
I'm gonna do better. Okay.
Grits, them boys down there in my basement, and y'all not gonna be down there talking about selling vaginas. Y'all not gonna be in here talking about selling vaginas.
Okay.
Grandma, give me a Red Bull.
I call them vagines. Is that better? Can I call them vagines?
Knowledge.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
Don't be mannish.
I'm sorry.
Don't be mannish.
I'm sorry, Grandma. You know when you get told to not be mannish, you really got to shut the hell up there.
Man, I ain't even say the other word. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel what you're saying though, Grits, because at the end of the day, if it can't be regulated, they want to put a penalty on it.
Hey man, they've been trying to stop. They've been trying to stop pimping for years, man. But pimping ain't going nowhere. Pimping ain't dead. Folks just scared.
Shit, ask Pimpin' King.
They've been trying to put pimping on. They've been trying to put pimping on the map.
Internet.
Hold on,
It's moved to the internet.
Yeah, it's called booking info.
They've been trying to regulate pimping. They've been trying to stop pimping. They've been trying to slow down pimping. They've been trying to do all this stuff to pimping, but pimping ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna tell you why pimping ain't going nowhere. Because pimping is pimping, and the thing is, you gonna always make it through if you a pimp. Because pimps don't get stopped by the laws. Pimps move around the law.
Yeah.
Pimp got to move through the law. Because the pimp got to know what the pimp do.
Yeah.
Pimps don't get.
Pimps
ain't worried about none of that.
You can't have
Pimping is
square business.
pimping. We don't do
But
it.
the law is pimping. The law is
Okay, the biggest pimp in the world is motherfucking Donald J. Trump.
Oh,
and
man,
the thing
he
is,
pimping the whole country.
I'm trying to tell you, he pimping the whole
Pimping
country.
the whole country, man.
Now that's real pimping right there.
Yeah.
That man got
That's
up there
pimping.
and sold the country a dream. He did this, that, and third. He did what he's supposed to do. That's what pimping do.
Yeah, that's pimping at the highest
Pimping gonna sell you a dream.
pimpticity.
Pimping gonna tell you what pimping's supposed to do, and then pimping gonna make it do what it do. But the thing is, if you don't, I'm sorry, I done slipped into a whole other bag.
But look, my homeboy told me, he say, look.
Where your pot at?
My homeboy told me, he said, you can't do square business in a circle world. I say, look, I say that's the coldest line in the world.
I gotta relax right quick. I done slipped into a whole other bag.
You ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna let you go, man. I thought you said called the pimping spirit.
Look, I think Granddaddy was about to come down here.
Something just came over me, man. Look, man, y'all got to relax sometimes, man. When y'all start talking about pimping, that's a whole other story. You know what I'm saying? I get passionate about that because. Okay, so like last week when I got to talking about guns, and I got passionate about guns. My thing is about pimping and what some people call prostitution.
Huh?
I don't consider that necessarily a crime.
It's not. Like, look,
I mean,
man,
it's really not. I mean, I call it exchange of goods.
Bro, until you infringe on somebody else's quality of life and their safety, it's not a crime.
Right.
Exactly. Now, do I think that if you are out here, you know, I'm gonna quote somebody. I hate to do this on this show. Damn it, I'm gonna have to do it though. To quote Charm from American Pimp. No, excuse me, Gorgeous Dre. He said, if it ain't no pimps out here pimping, it's going to still be some hoes out here hoeing.
They need direction.
But the thing is, the reality of it is, I feel like if you out here infecting people with diseases and things of that nature, do I feel like there should be some regulations around it? Yes.
I mean, you look at the bunny ranches in Vegas.
Yeah.
Look at the bunny ranches. You know what I mean?
The dude that run them is a pimp.
$1 million industry, but he's a pimp.
And it's the thing, though. They found a way to regulate it so they can profit off of it.
Bingo.
It's the same thing they did with prohibition in Chicago during the whole. Look, man, America made movies about gangsters. You know what I'm saying? That used to shoot the police.
America's run by gangsters, man. Gangsters make the world go around. I tell people that all the time.
Republicans, the original Bloods and Crips, man. That's why they wear red and blue anyway.
But look,
you know
facts. Say that.
But I'm gonna go ahead.
Talk your shit, Grits.
But I'm gonna go ahead, man. I'm gonna hip y'all to something real quick, man. If you go back to like old Western days.
Right.
Like when they had the corrals and all this other shit. Now you know you can go into the little brothels of the corral. Now
I know where you're going.
But you went
I'm an outlaw.
But you went for. I mean, you didn't go for those accommodations. You went for the company,
right? Yeah.
But but if the company ended up giving you some pussy, okay. But if anybody did anything under those, I mean, outside of that brothel, guess what they got? They got a fucking charge. The word fuck came from fornicating under cardinal knowledge. That's where the word fuck came from. F-U-C-K, fornicating under cardinal knowledge. They had the cardinal knowledge knowing that, okay, you could go ahead and get a date in here and end up doing what you do and get paid for it, but you can't do it out here on the street. So that's where the word fuck came from. I mean, Just to drop a jewel in here. Cool.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Let me give you another jewel. Because first and foremost, let me hit you with this. We talk about life in America, right? As a whole, collectively, the idea of America. Nothing changes in America until white people are negatively impacted by it.
You already know.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to get hold that.
My God.
Hold that. I want you to hold that. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Hold that. Please take a note right quick. Put a bookmark in that. Hold that because we got something ready for that coming up.
I'm trying to tell you.
I got something ready for that. So the way we got there was we was talking about how there's two different criminal justice systems and how thousands, millions of black men have been locked up for doing the same thing that, some of our Caucasian counterpoints have been gotten away with scot-free for generations. Let's move on to something that I thought was a miscarriage of justice, and this was what really proved to, if it didn't prove it to you or me, it proved it to 10 million people out here in the world. So, do you remember when all the white guys got together and went to Charlottesville, Virginia with tiki torches?
Yeah, tiki torches and polo
shirts and all that shit. Well, some kind of way, there was a black guy who got his ass kicked there. And they charged him, DeAndre Harris. He was 20 years old. He got charged with assault or something like that. Yep. He got charged with assaulting one of those white nationalists that had jumped, that had basically whooped his ass.
Right.
Now, this guy is he's 20 years old, but he's already a former special education instructional assistant. Now, having been an educator at one point, having been a teacher at one point, and having a child that's special needs, like a guy like that can't even do that job, because I don't have the... I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't have the
patience
heart.
And temperament. Yeah,
I don't have the. Well, it's not that I don't have I have the patience for special needs children. I'm not gonna lie. I have the temperament to work with special needs children.
I don't.
But it emotionally bothers me.
Right.
And that's the problem that I have, is because my son doesn't. I get so upset that I can't really function in the way that I need to function, because they really touch my soul. Like, my son is the sweetest kid ever. You know what I'm saying? And so for this kid to be 20 and already aspiring to a career in that field, he has to have a heart of a certain type of heart. And so for him to get his ass whooped, and for them to even give him a freaking indictment, like, who raised you niggas? Look, I've been trying to stop saying the N-word since January 1st. And every single week I come in here, I call somebody a nigga. And I get so upset about it, because I really want to stop saying the N-word. Like, I want to stop. But there's no other word I can use to define some people. Like, who raised these niggas that gave this dude a charge for assaulting these white nationalists when they obviously on video whooped his entire black ass?
I like the term motherfuckers.
I do like motherfuckers.
You remember I said earlier, you got a problem with definitions?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You called it a miscarriage of justice, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I told you the justice system working the way it's supposed to, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how the animal eats. That's how the animal eats, man.
Well, that's part of the reason why we got to be careful how we get involved in that machine in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude, he was standing up for what he believed in,
right.
And that's cool, because we need people that demonstrate. We need people that talk shit on social media. We need all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't a picketer.
Right.
Everybody ain't got hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we need all different flavors to that. But you got to understand that when we're looking at those individuals, they fall silent, you know what I'm saying, in the media, in our own conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like one of the first few times I've heard that mentioned again in almost a year. Because didn't they go down like in August of last year or something like that?
Yeah, it did, man. It did.
Yeah, so we talking, what, 6 months?
It was August 12th, 2017.
Right, yeah.
He got his ass whooped. Now, here's the thing. He got a spinal injury and head laceration that required 10 stitches. But he the one charged with he got charged.
But he had to pay his money to stay free, to say he innocent.
Yeah, and they probably charged him with disrupting the public demonstration.
He caught
some bullshit like that.
He got charged with assault.
He got the battery charge. That's what it was.
No, he got a felony charge of unlawful wounding. That was what it was. Unlawful wounding. That's a felony charge that carries a 5-year maximum sentence.
And any of y'all ever been to Charlottesville, man?
I have.
Look.
I've been there. Have you been there, Natty?
Yes.
You been there?
Trucks 55 niggas as fast as you can go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you. Look, the biggest thing in Charlottesville is the county jail. Word. I am not lying.
That in the university. And that's why they lost to a 16 seed, bitches. Sorry.
You
fucked up everybody bracket.
You remember when Andy Griffin when Otis used to check himself in the jail on Friday night?
Yeah.
That's what Charlottesville
That's Charlottesville right there.
Yeah.
It's an upscale Mayberry.
Yeah, until the white nationalists show up, and then it's a killing field. That's another story. So let's talk about something else right quick. Let's slip to another part. If you've noticed, we still haven't gotten out of WTF. White tomfoolery and foolishness.
We still in WTF.
We still inside WTF. And this goes to the and first of all, I want to give my thoughts and prayers. I know that sounds very cliche, but my thoughts and prayers are truly with the two students who were injured in Maryland at St. Mary's at Great Mills High School in St. Mary's County in Maryland. My thoughts and prayers are truly with them. I salute them and I appreciate them for being, I don't really know what to say at that point. It's sad. I feel bad for them for being victims, and they were wounded in this. They did not die, but the 17-year-old, sicko who shot them, he was killed. He was killed by allegedly by a sheriff's deputy or a law enforcement officer of some sort that did enter the building and engage him, the school shooter, the way they expected the dude in Florida to do. But I don't know how the details. I don't honestly give a shit about the details, but I just wanted to touch on that right quick, and send my well wishes
to those two young
and hope
individuals.
those two young folk, recover.
Yeah.
And so last week we talked about school shootings and all that kind of stuff, and end of the day, this kid shot those kids with a Glock. Now, I don't see this shooting getting nearly as much.
You already know.
Attention because it wasn't an AR-15.
It wasn't a glorified firearm.
It wasn't an MPX-15 or anything like that. It wasn't an AK-47. It wasn't a quote-unquote assault rifle. Now, here's the thing. This kid was 17 that shot these kids. You have to be 21 to have a handgun.
Period.
And so the thing is, where did he get the gun from?
Right. Well,
probably the same place that Adam Lanza and all these other shooters got him from. His freaking parents.
Yeah.
Who were too stupid to lock him up.
Yeah. What does responsibility lie?
I'm gonna be transparent for a second because I'm not often too transparent about the details of my life. I dated a young lady not too long in the not too distant past who, she's a wonderful young lady. She's great. We just didn't seem to work out together. But she had young children, and I knew that if I was going to date this young lady, then her young children were going to be around me.
Right.
Now, me living in my place as a single bachelor man who doesn't have children around very often, although I do have children, they don't really come up to North Carolina that often.
Right.
I knew that if I was going to date her and she was here in my vicinity, that I was going to have to do something to make sure her children didn't get a hold of my weapons.
Yeah, you got to childproof that shit.
Point blank, period.
Yeah, you got to childproof that shit.
So I actually went out and bought a safe.
Right.
I bought a safe for my handguns, and the Draco that I had.
Yappa.
Yeah, I had a chopper.
Hit him with the yappa.
I made sure to put the Draco in a place where the kids could not get it.
Yeah,
my AR-15s were in a place that. Notice I said plural. They were in a place where the kids could not get to them. So who the hell are these parents that are letting? And who are these? Excuse me, to use one of your terms, Grits. Who are these unseasoned ass parents that are letting
unseasoned parents
who are letting their unstable ass kids get a hold to these weapons of destruction?
I mean, but
here's the thing. Now, if you come in my house, I'm letting you hold the whole 30. That's point blank, period. If you come in my house, I'm letting you hold 30 from both the rifle as well as the pistol. That's no question. But if you're a child and you come in my house, I'm letting you hold a blow pop and some Kool-Aid and sit your ass down and watch some of this.
Get these Cheetos.
You can play this Xbox.
Yeah, and goddamn watch goddamn Peppa Pig. Sit your ass
Exactly.
down. But
these kids nowadays, that fit this demographic of people that we're talking about, they gonna come in your house with a plan. They ain't coming there for no blow pops.
Right.
So you got to use discretion, and then both of us, I'm not sure what Natty's background is, but as far as like military is concerned,
he's a vet too. He's a vet too. Nat's a vet too.
So we all have been in situations where we either heard someone being close to making a judgment call or whether or not to take the kid out. You know what I'm saying, for the safety of your comrades or whatever. But the thing is, it's like, where do you draw that line though?
Now, another thing about this young lady that I was dating, her oldest son's an amazing young man. He's a very, very, very intelligent young man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go and give him a shout out. Shout out to Khalil. Khalil, if you listen to this, you're an amazing young man. I want you to continue on your path. But the thing is, Khalil was smart enough to know, hey, this is not right.
Yeah, let me go ahead.
Khalil was smart enough to know if Khalil saw a firearm, he was gonna probably let me know.
And then
if he saw a firearm in my house, he was gonna let me know and be like, hey
I seen that 38 up under your pillow.
Or something like that. But the thing is, he would have never saw it.
Right, but I'm just saying.
And to make his mother more comfortable with it, when I was dating her at that point, I actually put the 380 in her hand. And she was very, very scared of guns. Like, she was amazingly afraid of guns. Like, she would shake when she saw a firearm. Like, that was her. She's from up north, and they're not, and firearms aren't as ingrained in their culture as a just commonplace thing as they were, down here.
Nigga, you never seen New Jack City?
That's like another story.
I'm just fucking with you.
But the thing is, I'm going back to this to say that I wanted to, knowing that was a big part of my life. When I was dating her, I wanted her to be comfortable,
be acclimated,
and to know that if her son or if either of her children saw that, I wanted her to be like, hey, they can come to you and be like, okay, this is the right way to handle that situation. And so the thing is, once again, like I said, shout out to Khalil. He probably never saw a firearm around me, but he's still an amazing, intelligent young man. And the thing is, and as I said last week, I don't think that any black person, and I've said this before, and Lanny, if you heard me say this, I don't think that any black person should advocate for sweeping gun control.
No, not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a right to bear arms because, number one, we have the arms buried against us the most.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? So, we need to embrace that and understand the laws that govern that as well. Because a lot of
joke that's going around now, if 1,000 black men went out and applied for concealed carry permits in any city, you would have a ban on handguns or something like that.
And see, the thing about it, what people don't even understand, you don't have to have a concealed weapons license, a concealed weapons permit to purchase.
In some states.
Not South Carolina.
In North Carolina, you do. In North Carolina, you have to have a pistol purchase permit or a concealed weapons permit. I have both. I actually went out and got because
South Carolina, you have to have an ID over fucking 21.
We had this conversation last week. I enjoy firearms. I enjoy the building and customization of various platforms of firearms. That's something that I enjoy doing. I go to gun shows, but I don't go to gun shows because I'm just a gun enthusiast. I go to gun shows to see what I'm up against.
Yeah, who's out there?
I kid you not.
So you have an 88-year-old grandmother.
Natty, I want to take you to the next gun show. When we're gonna go live from the next gun show.
Ramsey Temple in Columbia.
No. I want to take you to the next gun show that's here in Charlotte in April. Because the thing is, there was a guy at this last gun show. He had his own table off to himself.
Yeah, him and his wife, he was telling me.
And that was the only black vendor. That was the only black vendor that was there. But there was a whole section to themselves where this guy had a framed picture of Hitler.
Wow.
And they had all this German Nazi memorabilia on the table, and and that's not unusual.
Wow.
When I was going to the gun shows out in Metrolina, and when I went to the gun show here, I saw all that. And my thing is, I'm not gonna go protest their ass. You have the right.
You have the right
to revere Hitler as much of a douchebag as it makes you. You have the right to do that bullshit. But the thing is, I'm not gonna go shop with you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And you probably don't want me to shop with you. But the thing is, you were only 2 tables away from the NRA table.
Right.
So how the fuck is that? I'm supposed to feel about that? And the thing is, I'm not going to join the Black Gun Owners and Education Group. I'm not going to join the Buffalo Soldiers Gun Education Group. I'm not going to join any black labeled gun education group. I'm not going to join the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, any of that. You know why? Because the thing is, just like they infiltrated the Black Panthers, it's a lot easier for them to infiltrate that bullshit. And whenever the bullshit does come down the pipeline, they can point you out as a member and an affiliate.
Yep. I think
I'm already a known associate, probably. So
I think black gun clubs need to be like fight clubs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be legit,
right?
And you get the right people when you don't advertise. Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? Ain't
most definitely.
It's like a motorcycle club.
I mean, you know,
you don't see Rolls Royce commercials.
Yeah, you don't see no Bentley commercial.
Nah,
people already know the quality. You already been. Yeah. They know the name.
Yep, exactly. So, like, I think some of our things, we need to dial down the projection of it. You know what I'm saying? It just needs to be for us.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, fuck the limelight. Let's just go ahead and spread the information.
Yeah, we're going to get the limelight whether we want it or not. There's no sense to going out looking for it.
Right on,
you know?
Right on.
So
fame ain't fortune.
With that being said, I'm glad you mentioned that, you know. And the reason I use that story to move into this next story, and this show is probably going to go a little longer than we expected.
Cool. I ain't got shit to do.
Okay, so it's got
I did all the tattoos I'm doing this week. If you got an appointment with me tomorrow, that motherfucker's canceled.
Damn it!
I'm just playing. I done got them deposits already. I got to go to work. I was gonna get on stage, Ike.
Okay, so we gonna talk. God damn it, that's funny. So we gonna talk about these Austin bombings, and I'm glad. And so the reason I wanted to touch on that part with the gun clubs is because we moved into these Austin bombings, and these bombings, despite what the media may ignore,
right?
Because it was obviously
was
ignored.
Targeted, man. It was targeted actions, man.
It was targeting black people.
Yeah, it was targeted actions. I mean, blatantly.
Yep.
Well,
we shouted out the 17-year-old kid that got killed with one of the bombings, and it turns out he knew one of the other victims. His family knew one of the other victims of the bombings, and so you know, it bothered me so bad. The whole thing just bothered me so bad. I got a friend down there. Shout out to Tia, man. Tia's doing something. So we're gonna stop at the end because I want to end this show on a positive note. I want to share with the entire Consciously Be family what Tia is doing with her life just down there in Austin. After we finish, you know, talking about all this like heavy shit, because she's doing some really amazing stuff. But I called her in a panic. Like I was frantic because I just heard that, you know, another bombing had went off in Austin, and it was a serious bombing. I was just worried because like my people's down there, you know, I want to make sure you're straight.
Right.
And, you know, she hit me back. Like, apparently I had the wrong number for her. I had the right Facebook for her, but I had the wrong number. So somebody hit me back on my inbox on my text message, and I was like, nah, that's not.
Nah, that ain't me, dog.
That ain't you. My bad.
Tia who, dog?
Yeah. So you know, I hit her, and when she hit me back, like I the sigh of relief that I breathed was probably the biggest sigh of relief I've ever breathed in my life.
Wow.
But the thing is, we are the victims of terrorist attacks in this country.
Shit, Ben, since
from forever.
Forever.
Since before Reconstruction. I mean, think about it. First of all, slavery was 400 years of terrorism. Let's be honest about that.
Come on, man.
And so, and then after that, we dealt with Reconstruction. The Ku Klux Klan came about because of Reconstruction. So the reality of it is, we can't afford to give up.
The city of Birmingham was like the home base for terrorism against black folks.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
I have a book that I want you to read. I don't know if it's still in print. It's called the Klan, Politics, the Klan, and Society in Alabama. It's something like that. The name escapes me right now. Politics, the Klan, and Society in Alabama, and it talks about how deep the roots of the Ku Klux Klan go into Alabama. Now,
we know
it was born in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
We know.
But the amount of quote unquote, now here's the thing, everybody, like other organizations have chapters. The Ku Klux Klan has claverns. Okay? And one of the major claverns of the Ku Klux Klan was in Tarrant, Alabama, which was like 5 minutes from where me and Vic grew up at, right?
Yeah, I know, man.
Knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowledge.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Number one, I'm up here. I'm cooking this meatloaf for you, Natty, and Grits.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all gonna come into my house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my great-great-granddaddy, he built that stove. It still burn wood.
He built the stove.
And y'all gonna talk about the Ku Klux clans? Not in this house, you ain't.
We could have put them in a place.
Not in
That's
this.
what we doing.
Not in Grits. Don't you jump out the pot.
But there's a book, and that's the same book that I mentioned to my sister last week called "We Will Shoot Back,"
Right.
about the Mississippi freedom struggle.
Right.
There were. The thing is, we're always taught about the nonviolent folks. We don't always talk about the folks that shot back or the folks that defended their communities, like in Mississippi, in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. They defended their areas. They defended their homes. Tennessee.
They defended the Klan.
And you know, and that's when you get to a point of where you have a rare breed of individuals, because once you go ahead and docile down people and tell them, okay, look, do this, and I ain't gonna say we, because me personally, I'm a militant little.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in turning the other cheek.
I'm militant as hell. You know,
like this. I put up with a lot of stuff in my life. Racism is not one of those things, and I do not believe in turning the other cheek to anybody racist.
But it comes down to the mental aspect of it. Everybody doesn't have the mental fortitude to stand up and know their rights first and foremost.
Right.
To know their rights first and foremost, to say, okay, like for instance, if I get stopped in the police car already, if I get stopped by a police officer, I already know, look, license, registration. That's the first thing you're going to ask me for. Well, number one, you're going to put your thumbprint on the back of my car so that, all right, boom. You already got a mark on my vehicle if something happens to you as an officer. You're going to walk up, you're going to ask for license and registration. Okay, the only thing I have to give you is license and registration. I keep a little plastic bag with my license, registration, and on the other flip side, I have my insurance card. I hang that motherfucker out like fishing bait and roll my window up. Because number one, word. I keep that motherfucker on a string, roll my window down, hang it out. Because number one, you don't have to, if you need to take it to your car, you can take it out the plastic bag. I'm not stopping you. I'm not obstructing you. I'm not doing anything from you to stop you from doing your job. So now you can take my license out that bag. You can go to your car, run my license, bring my shit back, put it in the bag, roll the window down, take my bait, put it back in the fucking car. You know what I mean? Well, people don't understand. You do not have to interact with an officer if they don't have probable cause. Now, if you swerving, you're speeding, hey, you might have to roll that window down, sir, and let me talk to you for a minute. But you know that. But if you already know that you're in a ram and you already, you're not outside parameters of the law.
You gotta understand.
Yeah, you do not have to sit there and give these people conversation.
One thing I've always said, and this is one thing that my white friends a lot of times don't understand. Like, think about it. Like, I have a son. I have to teach my son how to survive, how to interact with police.
Right.
Which means, and this is what I say all the time, and it breaks my heart to say it each and every time, because my daughter, I had a I'm going to be very transparent once again. I had a conversation with my daughter last night, and it bothered me so bad because, like, her mother was like, your daughter has a problem with authority. And she was like, I wonder where she gets that from. And I was like,
it's not a problem with authority. I just feel like she's not a lemon.
She's an independent thinker.
Yeah, she's not a lemon.
And so it hurts me sometimes because I'm like, my daughter, you know, when you mentioned Sandra Bland earlier, like, I was like, my daughter, you know, is such a strong-willed woman, and I'm not going to tell my daughter to tamper down who the fuck she is for anybody.
Yeah, she gonna buck.
And so the thing is, like, when I started thinking about my daughter, I talked to my daughter last night for a minute, and I was like, I'm not mad at you, sweetheart. I just want to know what's going on. And so the biggest thing is, my white friends, my white, you know, comrades, my white homies do not understand this shit, and I try to explain this shit to them every single time we have this conversation. You get to teach your kids how to live. I have to teach my child how not to die.
How to survive.
How not to die.
Word.
And that is a completely different conversation.
Oh, man,
you can tell your kids truly, honestly, fully, without any reservation whatsoever, chase your dreams, go after that goal, do this, do that. I have to tell my child child, keep your hands on the fucking steering wheel, look straight ahead, and baby, just make it home. Because if you make it home, we can fight it from home. But if you die out there, I will die here too.
Yeah, man.
And so the thing is, I literally have to teach my daughter, and it breaks my heart, I have to teach my daughter how not to die. And for some reason, at this point in 2018, if you don't want to understand, it's because you're choosing to. If you do not get it, if you do not know, if you do not see, if you do not hear, if you do not understand, it's because you choose not to, because you hold a fucking computer in your fucking hand.
Yeah, and
I mean,
period.
Yeah, you know,
but the thing is, though, they don't want to because they don't have to. When you don't have to, that's why, like when like to kind of parry off of that, right? You know, like you get some white people that are socially conscious or socially aware and ready to have a dialogue, not a debate, a dialogue. They want to understand.
Verbal
shout out to my homegirl Miriam. She's the wokest white woman I know.
So
shout out Miriam. I bet she can't make gravy from scratch.
I bet she can. She from goddamn Alabama too.
Oh, she from Alabama?
Keep playing with it. She live in L.A. too. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, boy.
Hey,
Miriam will change your life, boy.
I bet all Miriam kids got melanin.
Hey, man,
she ain't got damn kid, boy.
Hey man, back to me.
Hey,
sorry,
back to Grits.
Sorry, Grits.
Grits back in the pot.
Sorry about that.
Y'all hear about some food, and it's a whole menu being put together.
My bad.
So, and the reason I say this, be wary of like white people that can engage black people in social issues, but sometimes they just listen so they can respond and not to understand.
Right.
And those are the ones that they kind of get played off of by conservatives by being called liberal. But and they try to tag us with that label. But black people can never be liberals because first and foremost, the tag liberal means a white person that disagrees with conservative politics. We don't meet the criteria.
Hell no.
Because the same Democratic Party birthed the KKK where you started at.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? The same KKK party also supported and gave legitimacy to the NRA.
You know? Bingo.
And so when you start looking at these different layers about where we fit, and when white people choose to leverage our plight or try to understand us, and try to, raise a fist alongside us, understand this. By the fact that they're white, they can always disengage and still be white. You still gonna be black. You still gonna have your issues. You know what I'm saying? So be careful who you give your energy to when you're trying to explain to them, because sometimes they haven't earned that conversation from you.
Right. And my biggest thing is this: I don't hold political conversations with white people publicly, privately, anything like this, because I'm it sounds prejudicial, and it absolutely is. I don't deny it in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but because I automatically assume that they're conservative. That's just how I believe. It's protecting my energy thing. I'm protecting my energy. I'm protecting my time. I'm protecting my heart. I'm protecting my mind. I'm protecting my knowledge. I'm protecting everything that I have because I have to.
Resource.
Exactly. I have to automatically look at you like I assume you're conservative until you tell me otherwise, and even then, I'm going to temper my conversation with you unless I understand that you're here to learn. I've truly only met a handful of white people in my life who were really interested in engaging and learning.
I don't know, but one
we're discussing.
That's my sister-in-law.
I could talk to you. I
love Jackie Page.
I could introduce you to a couple of other people, but it's not very many.
But let me ask you a question. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this gem on you. If you want to figure out if they for the cause, or they just hear book calls.
It's every nigga but goes for the cause.
No, just ask them. Say, look, ask a white person.
With dreads,
ask him, what you think about Floyd Mayweather? He is the worst nightmare.
He's a polarizing figure.
He's the worst nightmare. Because number one, he's a winner. He's undefeated. He's undefeated winner.
Wait. Before you go there, can I say something right quick? I'm sorry. I want to touch one thing. So my daughter's birthday was last week. And so 6 years ago for her third birthday, I was in Iraq. and Adrian Broner, Seth Mitchell, Joshua Jacobs.
Hey,
and
Josh.
Not Joshua Jacobs. What's the kid's name? It might have been Joshua Jacobs.
Yeah.
But also Oscar De La Hoya came to Iraq, and I got all of them to wish my daughter happy birthday.
That's dope ass shit, man.
And I did a video, and I had everybody in my unit do the same thing. And so I posted the video on Facebook. If you know me, you can see the video. If you don't, fuck you. But anyway.
Stop. You need to start befriending.
Fuck that. But no, the reality of it is that, they all wish my daughter happy birthday, man. Right. And I'll be forever, eternally grateful for that. And so the thing is, I just wanted to throw it out there right quick. But yeah, so.
But the polarized, if you want to see.
Love you, baby. Happy birthday again.
If you want to see how people react to us as black men or the black, I'm not going to say the black community, but as black men. Because number one, you look at Floyd Mayweather, you're not going to be liked.
Let's take it one step further. Ask them how they respond to Colin Kaepernick.
Oh shit! I mean that's
I feel like that takes the Mayweather step one step further.
Nah, because see the Colin Kaepernick, Raheem is at the surface. It's at the surface. So they're gonna it's at the surface, and they're gonna already put him like, look, he's not playing with anyone. He's not making any money, quote unquote. So boom, boom, boom. But you have an individual right here.
That's when you do to them what they do to us.
But
that's not what we're talking about.
But what we're talking about is just right here.
Saying?
But what I'm saying right here, you got an individual who's number one, undefeated. Number one, hasn't been beaten by any, undefeated. Mm-hmm. Now, number two, who generates more income for anybody that he fights, whether it be black, white, Hispanic. He generates more income for them by fighting him. And he whoops ass.
Now dumbass want to go into MMA.
But look, number three. On top of that, employs how many people? Thousands of people. Number four, arrogant as fuck. Because number one, he has the right to be. Because if you've dedicated your life into this realm right here, and you exceed at it, and you mean to tell me you didn't get locked up? How many times they try to lock Floyd up? How many charges they try to put on Floyd? Floyd is from fucking Wakanda. Y'all motherfuckers don't know it. That motherfucker's from Wakanda. Man, real shit. Cause it get to a point. He like Killmonger. Motherfuckers want to hate him, but he's like, look, I'm not the villain.
Let me find out Floyd is
I'm dead ass serious. Because number one, he's that individual who transcended out of Detroit, put his motherfucking time, effort into this right in a city where he could have easily got his ass clapped and capped. But he transcended past that. Then they try to put charges on him. They try to call him a woman beater. They try to say he was tax evading. Try to say he was this and try to say he was that.
And tax evasion is something you don't really get out of.
And he got past all that because it wasn't true. But people will still now. You ask white America, hey, how you feel about Floyd? That guy.
Well, let me say something about that. Right. I used to. I didn't realize I was doing it at the time, but I had more stock in entertainers and athletes,
right?
Than I should have.
Right.
And Floyd's one of those guys. He wasn't necessarily on my list, but he's on a lot of black people's list, and some people that we should emulate to some degree in terms of success and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't mean by emulate.
Hey, back to me. Let me finish.
I got you.
Hey,
I got you.
I'm gonna call grandma on your ass, Grits. Grandma.
Hey, what I'm saying is
we just asked you to come over here and play with us. We your mom need to come get you.
I'm in trouble. I always get in trouble.
Hey, go ahead, Grit. You got the flow, big homie.
Yeah. Hey, but what I'm saying is that what I meant by that comment is that sometimes we supplant someone's success in place of their influence and power and their control. You understand?
Right.
We give them sway over issues in our social settings that don't impact their individual lives. You know what I'm saying? That's like when black people got mad at Steve Harvey for meeting Donald Trump. I did, because he don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Steve, I don't wear them big baggy ass suits. Yeah. Slick ass shoes.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that we got to be careful about how we define certain things, because when you define it, you give it power. And then when you give it power, who are you giving it to?
But my definition, like when I look at Floyd Mayweather, I see a young black man who has basically dedicated his whole life into one craft. He never said I'm gonna go and be a chef, and then okay, the chef shit ain't work. Okay, so I'm gonna go box. He said I'm gonna be a fucking boxer. I'm gonna be a boxer. Dedicated his whole life into this craft and excelled at it. That's what I mean by that's the worst nightmare for quote unquote
white
America KKK.
Yeah,
that's the worst nightmare because number one, when you have somebody who can dedicate themselves and streamline themselves and propel themselves in one lane. And then flourish in it, and then able to branch off and to say, okay, look. Now you remember Floyd Mayweather's chef, the pretty light skinned girl with the green eyes.
Yep.
Look, nobody knew her.
What she look like?
Nobody. She was not.
What's her Instagram? Is she?
But the same thing about.
But you know what?
Same thing about Dennis Barber.
Right. He branched out and he brought these individuals that had crafts that they put their time and effort into in that lane. He said, you know what? Since I'm opulent in this lane, guess what? I'm gonna put some shine over here. Put some shine over here. Put some shine over here.
Excuse me. I haven't seen Mayweather's chef or Dennis Barber. With Mayweather's chef happen to be attractive and in a bikini, because I will follow her on Instagram.
Look, she's a real gorgeous melanated queen. I will say that. Because this is the kind of sleepy podcast.
Hey guys, I gotta go home at the end of the night.
Yeah, she's a real gorgeous.
I be happy with going home at the end of the night.
But at the end of the day,
when I go home at the end of the night, I'm really happy with that. But my Instagram, I follow a lot of like fitness models and attractive people because I want to see how they winning at this whole Instagram thing.
Knowledge, is you down there talking about your InstaFace page?
Yes, Grandma.
Did you? Ain't you and Grits and Natty talking about?
Grandma, go upstairs. Go upstairs, Grandma. Go back upstairs. Go back upstairs, Grandma. No,
y'all hungry?
I'd like some chicken, Grandma. Can I get some chicken?
I got all flats.
I eat all flats. I don't mind that. So, but the thing is about it, here's the thing. There is something these Instagram models know that apparently I don't. And here's why I say this. I'm saying this for a reason.
It's one thing they know. It's a filter.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It's about more than being attractive. Okay? Now, I know that guys are stupid. A lot of times if we see a big butt, because I ain't gonna lie, I follow some of the, I just started yoga. And so I started following some of the yoga people I follow because they was attractive and they was thick. I ain't gonna lie.
Nigga, you can do no yoga, nigga.
You know.
Think you creeping on Instagram, nigga.
But I wanted to learn how to do yoga too.
And nigga gonna do the downward dog. Hey, Grits.
Now there's some people that I follow because they're fitness models. And the thing is, I like to lift heavy ass weights. All three of us on here like to lift heavy ass weights in the gym. That's what we do.
I like, my name Knuckles.
I'm not fucking with you.
No, this Knuckles.
Natty, we talking right now. Can we talk?
But for real, let's talk. But my thing is
we all like to do that. But the thing is, all of these people.
I like lightweight.
Shut your ass up.
High reps.
So I'm gonna fight you after the show.
I can fight too. I swear I can.
But the thing is, we all understand that there's something about these Instagram personas, personalities, folks
that are addictive.
That not even addictive. Addictive is
attractive. Thing. My bad.
Not attractive, but there's something that they understand that other people want to follow them too.
It's like
they're
like Jerry Springer.
Something that makes people want to follow them too.
It's like Jerry Springer.
What is that thing that makes us follow Cali Muscle? Or makes us follow C.T. Fletcher.
See
man,
now,
look, talk that shit, man. Like some people need C.T. Fletcher,
now
some
C.T.
people need Cali Muscle.
He different.
And some people need T.D. Jakes. Some people need Joe Osteen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people need, some people need Kai Green. First of all, when I wanted to do bodybuilding for real, I looked at Kai Green because I was like, this dude knows how to pop and lock and do all this other dancing shit, and he got muscles.
And he big.
I want muscles. I don't want that big of muscles, but I want muscles.
Hey, but shout out, since we on the muscle aspect, shout out to high school classmate, wrestling team classmate, hometown classmate, but hometown
Cedric wrestling team, but people don't never get tired. That's why I be trying to fight y'all at least
shout
once
out to Cedric McMillan, you know what I mean, from Lancaster, South Carolina, who won that on a classic. Good country boy.
Oh, where he won the Arnold? He got an Arnold?
Got the honor.
Oh, that mean he didn't did it big.
Look, hey,
don't sleep on Grits now.
Hey, Grits, you yoked up. You yoked up and smoked up.
Hey, I guarantee you can out squat both of us.
Hey, look, I just got big triceps.
Hey,
I don't want no
tell you
smoke.
what,
I got screws in my knee.
if I get under, it's going up and down a few times. I tell you that much.
But but like you said though, Grits, it's like in the piggyback off of what Nada said, everybody has their own motivational factors that propel them to the next level or gets them over the hump. You know what I mean? Because like I know, like whenever I'm going through situations, I go to the gym and somebody asks me like, "Yo, where you at?" I say, "I'm at church." You feel what I'm saying? I say I'm at church.
Right.
So, everybody's cleansing process and everybody's motivational process is totally different.
That's my bike.
Bingo. You know what I mean?
If I get on that hog and I don't answer the phone for a couple of days,
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm getting baptized and I'm getting baptized in the bugs.
Right. Exactly. And that's real.
I'm getting
That's
baptized
real
in
for
the
me.
bugs.
But that's real for me.
But you gotta have an outlet though. You know
You got to.
Like, because like and that's the thing too, man. Like you reach a point where little things tick you off. An amalgamation of little things tick you off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't the big problems no more.
Oh, no.
You kind of anticipate that. Like, case in point, man. I remember every time I go somewhere, somebody fucked my food up. You know what I'm saying? I told you I wanted all drugs, 6 napkins, and 3 honey mustards.
And look, and I want Sam lemons in my tea.
Yeah, but I get back all flat, sweet tea, and 2 doilies. It's like, where you get the doilies from? I asked for that.
Who grandma house you been in to get this goddamn doily? I feel you.
You ain't going to liquor houses. All right. Okay, so before we get too far, we only got about 20 more minutes left.
Ain't nobody about this shit.
But I want to touch on these next 3 things. So the first thing I'll do a poll for all 3 of us.
Right on.
So I'm gonna bring it back to the original topic that we started on, which was the Austin bombings. Do you think that this person that
they
blew
claim
themselves up, or that they quote unquote found, do you think that was the person that was committing all of these quote unquote bombings? Natty, I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna start with Natty.
My thing, it's just too clean of a story to me.
Right.
It's just too clean of a story that is clear, concise, cut, and dry.
Right.
At the end of the day, nobody knows this person's background. Nobody knows where this person came from. Nobody knows this.
Kind of like when the last time they did something in Texas with that shooting of the Texas police officers.
Right. I've never heard about the funeral of the Las Vegas shooter.
You never heard about the who? What?
The funeral of the Las Vegas shooter. The one that shot.
I've never heard nothing from his family. We never heard nothing from his family. We haven't heard anything.
Well, we heard
from
something from his family. His brother actually turned out to be like a child molester or something like that.
So that's what, right?
Oh, that's still,
just dirty the name, dirty the family.
That's kind of typical too, though. You know what I'm saying?
But it's unseasoned activities. Overall,
but my thing is just right. It was just too clear. It was just too clear. Clear cut and concise. You know what I mean? And it came right at it.
Law and order.
Right. Come on, man. Doom, doom, doom.
Right.
And I just and me personally, I'm not gonna formulate a conspiracy about it. I'm not
gonna do like those white folks did them kids in Florida and be like, these kids don't know what they're talking about and they crisis actors and all that shit.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
But real talk, but let me add something on to that though. How about the irony that people were calling the kids crisis actors, but the only crisis actors were the police?
Right. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Write it down.
Come on, man.
Talk that shit. Here's my thing.
They made the whole.
Here's my
built the whole story.
Here's my thoughts about that. You know what I'm saying? Like my biggest thing with that whole scenario was that and I was talking to Miss EP about this yesterday. We was out having something to eat and we was talking about this, and I was like, this ended way too cleanly. I said, and I told her, I said, the FBI, the feds, everybody knows exactly who did this.
Come on, man.
They know who's doing this. Think about it. The bombs exploded in fucking Federal, Express, period. You mean to tell me that these government subsidized private organizations don't know who the fuck was doing this? You got to be out your rabbit ass mind. Like, come on, dog. Like, so the reality of it is that these folks, the feds, I think that the feds, I don't think the local PD in Austin knew who was doing it, but the feds absolutely knew who was doing it. Think about it. like, and John Gotti in the movie Gotti, you know, I joke about this all the time, is that, you know, the John Gotti character in the movie Gotti says that they have a parabolic mic that can hear a snake fart in Egypt from Brooklyn. And you mean to tell me that they didn't know who was doing this in Austin, fucking Texas, right around South by Southwest, when there's a lot of law enforcement there on high alert any fucking way, and they had to cancel the freaking Roots show? Hello, these guys play for Jimmy Kimmel, one of the most beloved entertainers in the freaking country. You mean to tell me that they didn't know who was doing this? Fuck out of here, man. Like, I don't believe any of that, dog.
Yeah, that's too many unknown variables about it. But like, look, hold on, let me wait for my turn. Go ahead.
No, it's your turn now. Like, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because you're in Texas, and I really want your thoughts on this. Like, how did it make you feel being in Texas, knowing that this was, you know, Texas is big as shit, so it's not a hop, skip, and a jump from you, you know, because Killeen to Austin is a decent bit of space.
It's 45 minutes. Yeah, I like driving from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa.
But how did this make you feel?
As far as it actually occurring, first thing is like similar to you, I got a lot of friends that live in Austin, so you know, I reached out to see what was going on and get their thoughts on it, because you know, my trade, you know, I've always been taught to talk to the people that's on the ground, you know what I'm saying, closest to it. You know, don't make an opinion without information from too far away, you know. So as I started, you know, asking questions about where it was, and without throwing up a map so I can look at it myself in terms of concentration of what the actual events took place, outside looking in, because it's not my community, I saw all of the black people getting targeted, right? But I also had this conversation with my wife, because I go through a lot of different devil's advocate type of scenarios before I finalize my opinion. You got an initial reaction, right? You got you know, you got to leave room for information to change your opinion if it's valid. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't come out and chisel something in stone and then we can't change where we started. You know what I'm saying? So. And it evolves with time when you start considering the individual that actually conducted the attacks. Yeah, the story was cookie cutter, you know, but by trade, I'm an intel analyst, so I've seen a lot of cookie cutter, you know, solutions to a problem, you know what I'm saying, or assessments that lead up to quantifying what actually took place.
Right.
So in this one, I've been taught to use some trained judgment in terms of like how information is presented. I got an assessment based on the information provided, and then I got what I think actually happened. So based on the information provided, I would say that, the metrics are there for them to say that he was targeting black people, right? But I do think it was just a crazy white boy, you know? He was a terrorist. Let's not take that part away from him. Yeah, and I got it, you know. But what I'm saying is that as we get more information about his background and that comes to fruition, let's leave room to have our opinion changed, you know. Like, we got our preconceived notions based on the initial metrics, and those metrics are not, you know, soft in any way, you know. They are legit right in front of you, you know what I'm saying? So whatever you form out of that, we can't take it away from you. Now, based on tools that I know that our government is capable of using, we have tools that have been designed to track sharks that travel 27,000 miles all through up the Atlantic Ocean, up the eastern coast, up and down it. Matter of fact, we tracked a shark from fucking Florida to Maine, a shark. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that there was a way to quantify, you know what I'm saying, what this individual's motives was long before. Just like Dylan Roof, just like your man that shot up the folks down there in Parkland. All these people, after the event takes place, the students always have.
Bro, they was able to track people with COINTELPRO back in the day. So this shit just ain't no way in hell.
Ain't no way in hell that nobody didn't know anything.
If you could track every movement of Eldridge Cleaver in the 70s, ain't no way in hell you can tell me you can't track these crazy motherfuckers today in 2018.
And everybody has a tracking device with them.
Yeah, and this other thing too. So, which leads me to a larger point, because I can talk heavily on this right here.
Yeah, this your bag right here.
Yeah, this my bag. You know what I'm saying? So, which brings me to a larger point about this is a demonstration of a lack of will, not a lack of capacity, because the capacity is there to do it. Okay, it's a lack of will. Okay, because again, what I stated before, and why I chimed in before, nothing happens in America until white people get offended or impacted by it. And
pause right there. Pause. Can I put a bookmark right there, because you hit me at the right spot. So you said nothing happens in America until white people are impacted by it. Now, what we saw today was Minneapolis police officer Muhammad Noor. He was charged with third-degree murder in the death of Justine Ruth. I don't want to mess up her last name. A 40-year-old Australian woman who was shot in 2017 after she called 911 to report a possible sexual assault behind her home. She walked up to the rear of the police car, wearing dark clothing, possibly a hoodie. She's wearing yoga clothing more than likely. Yoga clothing is loose fitting, really relaxed clothing. And the officer shot her as she approached the rear of the car and touched the rear of the car. Yeah, but this guy has now been charged with third-degree murder. Now think about it. Let's listen to his name.
You already know.
Muhammad.
You already know.
Noor.
Oh,
He's a darker-skinned, clearly Arabic male. Now, Sacramento police. Now think about it. Okay, before I go here, Minneapolis is the same place where who was shot? Philando Castile. Yeah.
20 shots.
Yeah.
20 shots, man. Shot in his own backyard.
Yeah. So let's talk about Sacramento police. Fatally shot a 22-year-old black man holding a cell phone. That they said was a gun. Now, why is it that every time we got something in our hands, it's a fucking gun? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Like, since I have been tracking, and this is something that I was actually very passionate about a little over a decade ago. I have been passionate about tracking the murders and killings of unarmed black men under suspicious circumstances by police officers. And the fascination actually began with Amadou Diallo reaching for his wallet, because that bothered me so bad. So bad. But then you have Deontay Rawlins, Reginald Doucette, and Deontay Rawlins was only, and what really got me going was the fact that Deontay Rawlins was only 12 years old, from Southwest DC, and he was approached by two off-duty white cops who assumed that he had stolen one of their children's dirt bike.
Fucking dirt bike, dog.
They said he had a dog. They said he had a gun or something like that. The gun was never found. Anything like that. He was shot, and the round went through the base of his skull and exited the top of his skull. It's just a whole lot of stuff that doesn't add up.
Man, that's execution style.
That's totally execution style. Yeah, and there's so many things that I've been fascinated about. Like, when I'm not gonna say fascinated about, but I've been fixated on this. I've been tracking this, and the thing is, 10 years ago, literally, it's 2018, right? When I started talking about this stuff 13, 14 years ago, people literally looked me in my face and called me crazy.
Yeah, said it wasn't happening.
People called me legitimately crazy over a decade ago, and now everybody is woke and wants to be Black Lives Matter. And the thing is, in 2018, I literally identify with Huey Freeman from the Boondocks when he says, "I'm retired." Because when I tried to tell you, and then I'm going to use the word again. When I tried to tell you niggas a decade and a half ago, you didn't listen to me and you called me crazy. The only person at that time in my life who really believed I had something to say were Tatiana, her last name is Hannah Butte now. But then there was Margaret and Margaret is still one of my best, closest friends. Everybody else thought I was fucking crazy. Well, I'm not gonna say everybody else, but 90% of the people in my life, outside of Dee Dee and Margaret and Tatiana, thought I was fucking crazy. And the thing is, now I'm looking at this in 2018, and everybody sees it, and I'm like, it's been here forever. Yeah. And it just because they stopped talking about it in the media doesn't mean it stopped. I mean, because this is the first. The only reason I know about this story in Sacramento is because Sean King mentioned it. But when Sean King was in undergrad at Morehouse, I was talking about this shit. And so the thing is, I just don't get it. Like, why is it that we're so reluctant to say, hey, they're fucking killing us?
Man, look, we ain't. It's not like we ain't never had an example. I think we are we are enamored with the fact that, to some degree, the civil rights movement gave the illusion of inclusion. We think that we have the same. We got the same rights, but we don't have the same access.
I have always said that next to crack,
equity,
integration was the worst thing to ever happen to the black community. That's a hot take for some people, but it's reality in a lot of different ways.
Hey, you need to bookmark that one too, because we can talk about that too. Because I used to think the same thing, but I'm not going to agree to disagree. I'm just going to say I have my views on it, and I can speak to both sides of that.
And I can agree with that, but I think that here's the thing: had it not been for integration, I probably would have gone to Morehouse like I wanted to, instead of going to Alabama like I ended up having to.
Yeah.
We abandoned. Here's the thing: I don't say that integration was the worst thing to ever happen to us from an outside perspective. I say that from
we missed some opportunities. Well, that's what it is.
Right. I say that from an inside perspective. Why does Stillman struggle sometimes? Why do our HBCUs struggle sometimes? And I use Stillman as an example because you look at Stillman and you juxtapose it next to the University of Alabama, which is literally only 5 minutes away. That's where I came up at. That's where I, saw. And you're like, why are these so separate? Why are they so different? When there are thousands of black people now that go to UA, but they don't look at Stillman as a viable option. We do the same thing to our Alabama States, our Alabama A&Ms, our Johnson C. Smiths, our Queen Cities, our South Carolina States, all these HBCUs. We started abandoning the institutions that gave us a foundation and that gave us life. And that's why I say integration was the worst thing to happen to us, because we gave up on ourselves. It had nothing to do with anything that white people did. They just opened the doors to us and said, hey, come on in. And we did it to ourselves, man. And honestly, I swear to God, like I really wanted a degree from HBCU so bad.
That's why I went to ECP.
Now let me go ahead and pull up on you, open up this door, because we got to go back down to Austin, man, because we got to finish up. So what I was talking about before with the metrics of how these attacks were displayed in the media, I said that nothing in America happens until white people are negatively impacted by it, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, at the same time, lost in all of this, the Austin thing got lost into the backlash from the Parkland shootings. Okay, we've been on this for a month. We've talked about this longer than the Vegas shooting, and people forgot about that. Because once they determined that the white guy that shot everybody in Vegas was like some kind of Antifa Democrat, whatever they did to muddy the water with that, it came out of the media, okay? And then the next thing we got to with the next mass shooting was the Parkland thing, right? That's got our attention because it's kids involved. And again, black kids been getting shot forever.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about. People only give a fuck about Chicago when it makes their conservative talking point sound better.
But that's my new hashtag, but Chicago. Hashtag but Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's my new shit right there. Because but Obama, but Hillary's emails, but Chicago, none of those issues actually address the real problem, and that is white male fragility.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
Because let's talk. We cannot talk about everything that we're talking about with Austin without talking about the baseline metric. Okay, the baseline metric is white male shooters with fragile egos that are disenfranchised within America for whatever reason, and they have garnered some level of anger. They are not being sought after, and even though they know where these individuals are. Dylan Roof came from a 2-parent household. He'll shot up people in fucking in South Carolina, shot 9 folks, right? They knew where he was. They knew he had been radicalized. They knew he was with the shit, with the stars and bars. They did the same thing with old boy Nicholas, what's his name, down in, that did the parking shooting?
Right.
Whatever his last name is. But again,
I can't
another white guy.
I get you, though.
What did you say? Who?
Yeah.
The guy did the Parkland shooting in Florida.
So,
it was Nicholas something. I can't remember his last name. Yeah, it was. It was something where they tried to blame it on Hispanics, but it wasn't working.
But they tried to muddy the water with that. But then, because they came out, they tried to humanize him. They said his mom died when he was like whatever age, but he got adopted by some Cuban nationals. You know what I'm saying? But he was still part of a radical organization that was pro-Trump, which is another bag also. You know what I'm saying? But no matter if it's been a pro-conservative, neo-Nazi sympathizer type of shooter.
They just voted for a whole goddamn Nazi in like Virginia.
Hey, yeah, no, it was in Illinois. It was in Illinois.
Illinois.
20,000 Republicans came out and cast a vote, but that's another bag too.
For a whole dude's a whole fucking Nazi.
It's too many.
He a whole ass Nazi. He a whole unseasoned pale ass Nazi.
Hey, to quote Fab and Neo, throw it in the bag. That's all I'm trying to tell you right now.
Well, hey, we out of time right now, man. Hey, Grits, we got to wrap up now, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. We actually out of time. We done with studio. The studio time is out. We could talk about this forever, man. But I really, really appreciate you, checking in with us from Texas. And thank you so much for coming on, man. Thank you so much. I want to go on and shout out my other homegirl in Texas, Tia Williams.
Yep.
She's doing some amazing things down there. Let's see. She's starting a funding campaign in June for her next film series regarding gentrification in July. She's good to go. She's doing gentrification and she's talking about, I think she's based in the Austin, Texas area, so she's doing some major things. She's got additional information posted on her page, the Tia Williams business page. Her film EXO should be public soon. It'll be viewable on Vimeo, and details are also on the Tia Williams Facebook page. And she's just, trying to get a name out there, man. She's trying to be she to me, in my opinion, in my heart, in my mind, she's the next Ava DuVernay, and so I'm so proud of her.
What do you think, Queen?
Well, yeah, man, she's doing major. You got any shout outs, Natty?
Yeah, man, I want to go ahead and shout out, man. Because a lot of times,
because you got a lot of pings going on right here. I'm trying to see what's going on.
I'm just trying to tell you, my shit got them knocking off the top like Top Golf.
Hey, because we got a Top Golf down here, in Charlotte now. It ain't booming like Birmingham is, but we got a Top Golf.
But
going,
but me personally, man, I just want to go ahead and shout out, man, the people that's in my own industry, because a lot of times, man, especially when you, like Jay-Z say, when they the same hue as you. We don't tend to give each other our accolades and our shine. So I just want to shout out the African American and ethnic artists out here in Charlotte. Number one, I'd like to go ahead and give a shout out to my homeboy Compafino, a.k.a. D-Lo, over there at Evolution Tattoo, him and Zoe. I'd like to give a shout out to my homeboy Patrick Harrison and my man Juice Official and the whole crew over at Tattoo Renaissance. I'd like to give a shout out to my homegirl Miss Vicky, Ink Me, over there at Tit for Tat Tattoos, right on Bettisford Road, right across from the Satellite Police Station. So you safe. You safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like to give a shout out to my homeboy Rico Tadillac Marley over there at MBK. I like to give a shout out to my homeboy Billy Harrison over there at Charlotte Tattoo Company, right off of Central. I'd like to give a shout out to, of course, you know what I mean, the homegirl Duchess and the whole Pretty and Ink crew, my homeboy Ty, Tattoo Slim, my homeboy that dude Pack. I want to make sure I ain't miss anybody, but
Charge
I
it to
think
your
that's
head,
about
not
it.
your heart.
Yeah,
charge it to
man,
your head,
don't
not
charge
your
it
heart,
to
man.
shit. Because number
And
one,
tell them to inbox you, and we'll inbox and we'll hit them next episode.
Right,
man.
you know.
I definitely want to give a shout out to all my Body Inc. Folks, man, that's doing it. Body
Doing their
artists,
thing, man,
making it, helping everybody look better naked.
they can't
man.
take my slogan.
You my
I'm the only
tattoo
one.
artist.
I'm only one.
I need some more ink, man. So
I know
we
it.
got to get some work done.
Yeah, man, it's been
You
about
gotta
2
work on my
years,
tattoo.
man.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. Yeah, I gotta get some more work done. Grits, you got to shout out some people, man. First of all,
Yes,
let's shout out both of our mutual cousin Eric doing his thing.
Bruh, like, hey, man, what a lot of folks don't understand that they won't get necessarily out of listeners is that me and Knowledge grew up around the same people but never met.
Never met each
we were
other.
in Afghanistan.
That's what he just told me, Grits. Word.
So, like, it goes to show you that the things that we deal with, there's somebody out there that's connected to it that's way
Bingo.
closer to you than you think.
You
ain't going
man.
through nothing on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They say 6 degrees of separation. Shit, I believe in 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely shout out to Eric out there doing his thing. I see him, working on his sports scouting career. And, even though he just giving us glimpses, I know that's always just the tip of the iceberg. To my folks from Birmingham that might be dialed in listening to me and the rest of my guys that's talking right now, shout out to the whole 205. What's up, East Lake? The Bay. And as far as Texas is concerned, man, I'm 10 toes down right here where I'm at.
Already.
Shout out to Legends on 2. And
hey, let me go and get that
squad
booster
on
up
2.
at you. Let me get that booster from you.
What year that thing
Oh,
is?
man.
What year that
Oh,
thing is,
man.
Grits? What year that thing
Hey,
is?
he got a legend. He in Legends on 2. He got a legendary ass booster out there in Texas. That motherfucker sexy. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, man, we gonna be in Dallas probably in May. So, man, if y'all, find y'all way out this way, come visit. Let me know. Keep me posted and stuff. So,
That sound like the move after I get another job.
Yeah, we see. Hey, but look, Grits. Knowledge don't let me ride with him no more.
Why? 'Cause I'm on the Harley?
Yeah, he on the Harley now. He don't let me ride with him no
don't
more.
do me like that.
He don't let me ride with him no more.
Hey, man,
He treat me like a foster kid.
I'm trying to keep you out the bullshit.
Look, he treat me like a foster kid. Like, go and get on your last bike and come on.
I'm trying to keep you out the bullshit. That's what I'm doing.
That's how he do me. That's how he treat me now.
and then the other thing too, I like the other person that is the major cog in my machine. I like to shout out my wife, Shoni. And
That's my sister,
and
man.
the thing, she's like, she fills in every gap, even without her vocal input. She is living input.
Right. I mean, just the presence. I dig it.
Yeah, I can't capture, her the value she adds to me in my life, and just a shout out. But I need to say her name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and nobody ever get it twisted.
And even with that, Grits, though, it's reciprocated. And that's what that's what a lot of people don't understand, because I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be the woman that she is for you if you wasn't the man that you are for her. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you wouldn't,
Absolutely.
and if you wouldn't be doing, you the Kool-Aid to the sugar, she the ham to the burger. You know what I mean? And what a lot, not to get on no tangent about relationships, but what people tend to forget about relationships is the relating part.
Talk that shit, Daddy.
You know what I mean? They forget the relating part. You know what I mean? They look at it like it's okay. This is my man. My man's supposed to do this, and they forget what they supposed to do.
Talk that shit.
Yeah, but I'm about to get up off here, man, because this is some rock kicking in.
It's rock
Hey, yeah, this is rock kicking in. I got some ass to whoop on this chess table at Stash House.
You got some chess to get to, man.
Shout out to my homies at Stash House.
Shout out to everybody that's listening to us, and we're gonna catch y'all next week.